Hi everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating some neon magic today using some beautiful products from Honeybee Stamps and from Ranger Ink. This die set is called Swatch All the Things. I think this is a brilliant die set because you literally can make swatches with it, and there's a little spot for your ring holder at the bottom. But you could also use this for creating a project to indicate paint tubes and pencils, and so on and so forth. I am going to start my project off here today with some neon alcohol inks. These alcohol inks in neon are absolutely stunning, and I recently added them to my alcohol ink stash, and I wanted to play with them today. So I'm starting off here with a piece of 5x7 Yupo paper. I just squirted a little bit of isopropyl alcohol in there, and now I'm going to start adding the alcohol inks. This kind of squirted out a little bit on me as I was closing it up. User error. And I'm wearing gloves just because when I work with alcohol inks, I like to protect my skin a little bit, so got those gloves on. And now I've added a little bit more isopropyl, and I'm taking the Ranger blower tool there to move the ink around. Looks gorgeous so far. I love it. I'm going to add some of the yellow over top, and as that mixes with the pink, it's going to create a really pretty orange color. You can see here that this is just moving beautifully on that Yupo, and I am using 99% isopropyl alcohol. Just going in, moving that around, and so that we're getting just a really, really beautiful mix of color and pattern, creating this gorgeous texture on our Yupo paper. So I'm really loving that. I think it's gorgeous. Just going to clean up with a baby wipe here a little bit as I go along so that we don't get too much of a mess on my desk. So I'm drying that and moving it at the same time with the blower tool. And now I'm just going to take my spritzer. Again, this spritzer has 99% isopropyl, and that spritzer is just going to add these tiny little dots of texture on my alcohol ink, which I love. I think that's so fun. I'm going to add a little bit of the purple up in the corner here and add that. When I go to add the isopropyl onto my Yupo paper, I often will use a pipette. I just stick that pipette right into my alcohol ink bottle and then put it onto my Yupo. And here you can just see adding the ink on top and moving it around. Now, if you really want to watch the expert do this, of course, watch Tim Holtz over on his YouTube channel. He'll give you a ton of tips about what you can do with the neon alcohol inks and how they're different from other alcohol inks. But I just had so much fun just playing with them and seeing what they would do. I'm taking some white paint. I'm just going to splatter that. I've placed my Yupo into my splat box, splattered that with white paint, and now I'm taking my Gansai, Tambi, Starry colors, and I'm adding some gold watercolor over top of that as well. I'll dry that quickly with my heat tool, with my Ranger heat tool here, and once that's all dry, we're ready to move on. Now I've taken that Swatch All the Things die set, and I've die cut each one of the shapes out of white cardstock, and then I put the layer, or I die cut the layers, the top layers, with some, this is gold metallic cardstock or gold mirror cardstock. It's actually a brushed mirror cardstock, and so it just looks really pretty. I'm going to do the tips and the caps and the little label on the paint tube with this mirror cardstock. It's just so pretty. I like that gold, and I like how that coordinates nicely with the gold splatter. We've already got a lot of color going on in our background, so I wanted something just a little more subtle for these embellishments or the die cuts. So I'm just adding the glue on here with my Misty Glue press and just getting that precision bit of glue on there. And that's going to finish these die cuts off super, super easy. So I was looking at them and I was thinking, I'm going to add some more detail, and that's going to come here in a bit. Now, this is the Honeybee Stamps Lovely Layouts Party die set. This is a must-have. I love it. And I took these circles, these circle dies, and I die cut those from that same mirror cardstock, the brush mirror cardstock. And we're going to get some options for the rings to bind our utensils together. Now this is the Sweet Stack Circles from Honeybee. Wonderful, wonderful circle stack set. I've die cut the center out of both of those circle dies from Lovely Layouts Party. And in that way we can create a ring. So I'm going to take the smaller ring. I kind of like the shape and size of that one a little bit better in the detail. And you can see how that's just going to fit through the holes in the bottom of the marker, the pencil, and the paint. I wanted to add some color to these though, something subtle. So I'm taking the Outdoor Scene Builder stencil set and I'm using the stencil that's actually meant to be like snow. And I'm going to use my lunar paste. I love my lunar paste. They're gorgeous. I'm using Prom Queen, Tangent, and Yellow Jacket. Those are the 3 colors I'm using. And these are just going to add some dot detail. And I wanted the detail to be neon. So I don't actually have that many neon things in my collection of pigments, but I do have some of the neon lunar paste, and these are fantastic. I love working with these. They're really, really great consistency. I love that they dry shimmery and shiny, and the colors are just spot on. They match up so nicely with the neon alcohol inks. They're just perfect. So I'm going to put just a really nice tiny little layer of dots and I'll set those aside to dry. Now I'm going to die cut out our focal point for our card using the Lovely Layouts Party die set that's shaped like a stamp. And I love that. I think it captures the alcohol ink background beautifully. And that's going to be our card front. So I'm going to go ahead and take my panel and add some Alt New 1-inch foam tape onto the back. And that's going to just pop this up nicely. It's going to make it just that little bit dimensional on my A2 size white top folding card base. So I'll go ahead and take the release paper off the back, and that's going to be ready to add onto my card base. So that's just made my Yupo paper nice and flat, and it just finishes that off so nicely. And now I'm going to take these little bits. I actually dry them a little bit more with my heat tool because they weren't quite dry yet. And once they're completely dry, I'll just take my little faux ring here to hold these together. I'm going to put that through each one of the holes, and I'm going to glue that onto the back and close up the gap in that little ring in that way. So I'll just slide the gap or the cut in that ring to the back so that you can't see it. And I'll add a little dot of glue underneath there. I'll just hold that in place with my finger until that's attached. And now you can see how that's just a really, really cute set of embellishments for the front of my card. I love that. I think it's super cute. This is a really great sentiment set. I think I used this on my last card too. It's called, let's see, it is called Crafty Friends. And there's a ton of sentiments on there. And I love these. You can even stamp some of these on the backs of your projects when they're done, like it says handmade by, that kind of thing. So really great. The sentiment I chose is crafting fills my heart. And I stamped that out in black ink just for a little pop. And I've put some foam adhesive onto the back of that and onto the back of my pencil, my marker, and my paint tube. And so we've got even more dimension there. I'm just going to put my sentiment down in this area. And I also wanted to add some gems. So I'm actually going to add the Birthday Bash gem stickers in pink and orange, I believe, are the colors I choose here. And I'm just going to randomly place those kind of in a couple of different places. That's going to add just some really nice bling to finish off our project today. Friends, I have linked up in the description box below to all of the products from the Honeybee shop to allow you to go ahead and shop what I've used today over at Honeybee Stamps. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you were inspired by my project today, and I hope that you loved the neon inspiration. Have a wonderful day, friends. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.